Hey everyone, today I've got your Terminator Dark Fate movie review. As soon as I saw the first trailer for this movie, I knew it was going to be bad. Is this still a movie for the fans? So, as far as the story goes, Deadpool director Tim Miller comes on board to helm this sixth installment with James Cameron on as a producer, and with his blessing comes this movie that I was just not looking forward to seeing. I mean, the last time I saw the trailer in the movie theater was when I saw the Joker movie, and I was like, okay, I am not excited to see this movie whatsoever. So since I had seen all of the previous Terminator movies, I figured I wasn't just gonna turn this one down right away. I just wanted to see it for myself and see if it really was worth the watch. Now, from the opening scene alone, there were times when I had mixed views about it because I couldn't believe the direction that this movie was already setting itself to go in, because it was already leaving me disappointed with what I was seeing. And at first I thought, okay, things are gonna be fine, but then I'm just like, I don't like hating on a movie right out the gate, damn it. But this, I literally had to, because it was just so unexpected yet so inexcusable. It makes me love watching some of the previous Terminator movies before it, and that's saying a lot, considering that of course I loved the previous Terminator movies besides Rise of the Machines and Genesis, and now this movie comes out and I feel like they completely ruined everything that this whole franchise was going for. Honestly, since T2, I'm not surprised. As far as the casting goes, you've got Linda Hamilton, who I was actually glad to see back as Sarah Connor, and she is looking badass as ever. And of course I was impressed seeing her when I saw a first look of her in the trailer, and she looks like she's still got it, and yet she definitely impressed me with, you know, some of her lines and just the way she definitely stands out on screen, as well as Mackenzie Davis, who I have been a fan of for a few of her movies, as well as some TV shows that she's been on, and she was pretty good, as well as the super soldier. She's advanced with enhanced abilities to basically take out like anybody, and she's from the future, so that's pretty neat as well. However, Natalia Reyes' character, who is basically the main focus of the entire movie, is not impressive whatsoever and comes off a bit whiny at times. And I'd like to mention, and I don't want to get a lot of hate for this, but the fact that you have the three women that I mentioned were leads to this movie definitely felt like someone was pandering to a certain audience that I feel like, okay, we've already got the Charlie's Angels reboot coming out, that we don't need to see yet another representation of these women on screen when, yeah, we've had the main focus be men in these franchises, which leaves me to say Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back as well. I mean, why wouldn't you have a Terminator movie without Arnold Schwarzenegger? However, in this movie, he's not seen as much, but when he is, I am actually glad to see his character, but sometimes the way he was portrayed, you know, didn't impress me like I had seen in previous Terminator movies, but I still liked the fact that he looked pretty good as the formerly T-800. And then you've got Gabriel Luna, who I think was also pretty decent as this new form of Terminator, as the Rev 9 as they call it. And I liked his action scenes. I thought they were really cool, and I liked the way he was on screen, and so he was just pretty awesome. as far as bad guys go. Now, the things that I liked about this movie was that it did have some action, even though I wish there was a little bit more, especially with some of these cool scenes that didn't remind me of Terminator Genesis. It had some comedy that I actually did find myself, chuckling a little bit here and there, whether or not it reminded me of previous references to older Terminator movies. But I appreciated the lighthearted moments a little bit more when it did feel like it wasn't all just completely dreadful to watch. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that it focused so much on the convoluted storytelling that instead of having elements that made the first couple of movies special, along with the special effects that I wasn't as impressed with. I mean, when I saw Gemini Man, I was like, these are terrible special effects and CGI, and here it looked almost like the exact same way. And with those slow-mo shots, I was just not impressed. And they were distracting to watch. So overall, I would say that this movie left me disappointed, but I really wasn't expecting much going in because I had known that these movies sort of had been going slowly downhill into a future that I feel like wasn't worth all of the effort. And there is no fate but what we make for ourselves, especially if Cameron and company intend on making more movies in this franchise. I say focus on something else and just let this stuff die, or somebody might end up getting terminated. I would not really recommend seeing this movie. Honestly, if you have your favorite Terminator movie, let me know what that is. But I am always going to be a T2 fan and literally want this franchise to just go away because it literally proved nothing and it changed nothing about what we had already learned and known from this franchise that's constantly changing the way it tells its story. So I would give this 2.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Terminator Dark Fate. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys later.